Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Lucky Legends here. Well, you see, this video was actually supposed to go out around 2 days ago. But, well, my dumbass decided to try and play music through the same earbuds I used to record, and the mic put the music over my voice, so you couldn't hear my voice at all. You just heard the music I was listening to. And I spent a full 2 hours on that video, so I was super pissed off when I went to check it before I uploaded it. So I really just haven't been able to record. But because I wanted to, well, since I've been behind schedule as of late, I wanted to make a video. So I decided to do a video today. Anyway, welcome back to What If Naruto was Reincarnation for Jin. As we'll leave off, as we'll leave off at the, oh, what did I leave off? Well, I just know. I don't know if I gave him all the artifacts yet, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I didn't give him all the artifacts yet. So at this point, he only has Yaoi and well, actually, he only has Yaoi and he he has four artifacts. He only has Yaoi and the cloud, but he cannot control the cloud very well because he's not strong enough to yet. So he mainly uses Yaoi. And this should be after the bell test, I'm pretty sure. So, it's awesome, the mission. Actually, Naruto would have actually been training to, one, his durability, and two, his mastery over the cloud's lightning ability, which he trains his durability by striking himself with the cloud, effectively training both of them at the same time. So, we continue on. So Naruto with the, well, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi would all be in the third Hokage's office. Also, I'm gonna say this now. We all leave ship ideas in the comments. Because if by the time I make the third part of this series, I see no ship ideas, I'm gonna make my own ship. I want you guys to have a part in these videos, as I kind of want this to be a two-way thing. Where I want your context because it's not me watching the video, it's you guys. So I'm mainly making this for you. I just doing it for fun, really. But then again, I don't know. But you know, anyway, last time I recorded this, I was super excited to record it because I had a really good plan on how I was gonna do it. But I had to mess it up. 2 fucking hours. And I wanted to get 2 hours to make up for all the time that I missed. So I got it to 2 hours and I fucked it up. Yeah, I'm still pretty mad about that. But there's nothing I can do now. But anyway, Naruto would actually be in Kage's office with Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. Sasuke was so complaining about the missions and how it's a waste of his potential. As Hiruzen would look at actually, yeah, Hiruzen would look at Kakashi and ask him if he thinks they're ready. Kakashi thinking that, well, Naruto is more than strong enough to go on at least a B rank mission, says yes. As he asks them, and they all say they're ready for a high rank mission. Naruto wouldn't really care because Morihei doesn't really care about anything but fighting strong people. Also, I'm gonna say the ship is the reincarnation of Pandora because she looked like Morihei's ship from the beginning, as they had a friendly rivalry going on in the manga at some point. So, you know, uh, well, Wataru Kage tells Sasuke to come in. As he comes in, and he makes fun of Sakura. Naruto actually laughs at this because, well, he still likes pulling his pranks because he loves to just have fun with everything. But if it's serious, he won't care. But it's not really serious, so he'll just laugh with him. But Sasuke sees that Naruto is still on guard because he literally has to be, seeing that he is part monkey, at least he's reincarnation of a monkey, because Morrigan was a monkey. He was not human. That weird. He had his monkey form guarding his his godly form when he was in a crystal before he was quote unquote born. That's how Taijin found him. As he battled the monkey side and defeated it, and afterward the crystal cracked. So, and that's how Mori was born. But anyway, well, Naruto having always being on guard due to his monkey instincts would actually seem the most ninja-like of the three games. Sasuke wouldn't actually make fun of. Well, he would because Naruto would have strange clothes because he wears what Morihei wears, a white T-shirt. He has a jacket wrapped around his waist, blue jeans, and red boots with the eye mask on his forehead or wrapped around his forehead. And he has Yaoi at his back because he always carries Yaoi. So, well, he has Yaoi in his hand because he's always carrying Yaoi. He isn't gonna keep it in his ear like Origin did. Also, Naruto in this will have the ability to summon more Yui if deemed necessary. So, just letting you know that. So, Naruto. Naruto actually, let's say the mission happens a week later than in canon because I want something to happen in this week. As Kakashi would tell them that they would be leaving in a few days and told them to get ready. This few days would actually turn into a week a due to a dust bowl that went through the area. So they would actually be stuck in the village for a few more days. So Naruto, well, actually the third Hokage. Hold on. Monkey King Enma would sense something strange with Naruto because let's say the land I'm gonna call where the monkeys are summoned, like where they come from, the land of monkeys. The land of monkeys is actually Morrigan's old world. As Monkey King Enma, well, those of you who read the manga, the false Monkey King, or the Monkey King that took over after Morrigan died and became his humanoid form. Well, he Monkey King Inma is his great grandson. As when Naruto came into Morrigan came into the Naruto universe, he did see Hashirama and Madara's battle because he was brought in not long after Kaguya was defeated. So he kind of just floated around waiting for his reincarnation to be born. So he knows something about the world, as he didn't really pay attention to most of it. He just looked at the strong people because that's all he's ever interested in. As not well, Monkey King Enma would send something else with. As he tells us the third Hokage, as he asked the third Hokage to take him to Naruto. As the third Hokage would call Naruto to his office. As soon he third Hokage would explain as he'd summon Enma, Naruto would find his scent somewhat familiar because, well, Morihei knows the scent of his own people. I'm not sure if pretty sure he had a strong sense of smell, at least when it came to people of his own realm. So, Morihei in the mindscape would immediately know somewhat who this person is, as he'd say, it can't be him. He died. He should have died thousands of years ago. Unless, as he tells Naruto to bring him into his mindscape, where Morihei talks with Monkey King Enma, as Monkey King Enma would immediately recognize Morihei, because Morihei would be his god form, because his power is not limited at all. As Morihei has his artifacts, but Naruto doesn't have the physical artifacts himself. Morihei just has an illusion over his body that shows his true form, which he decided to go into when talking to this Monkey King, so he could be more recognizable, as that was the form he used to lead his people. So Monkey King Enma would recognize him immediately, as Morihei would ask him who he was, as he'd explained that he was the false Monkey King's Greek great grandson, I believe that's what I said. Morihei would say, well, he was a great guy. I wish I could speak to him again. Too bad he's passed on. It seems he did a good job in leading our people. As Monkey King Enma would smile, as he'd say, well, you can come and visit your old realm if you'd like. After all, you are a king. As Morihei would say, sure, why not? I've been wanting to see how the place has been doing anyway. As Monkey King Enma would reverse summon Naruto, the third Hokage, and himself to the land of monkeys, which I believe it's called the realm of demons in the manga, but I'm gonna call it the realm of monkeys. Well, not yeah, the land of monkeys, because that's what part of the world they're gonna be in. So Naruto, well, actually, he'd make a shadow clone, as he'd allow Morihei to take over the shadow clone, because I'm gonna say he can do that. And well, Hashirama's just gonna be chilling in Naruto's mind, like he's just sitting back and watching. So Morihei takes over the shadow clone, transforms it into, well, his humanoid form, like the one you see in the thumbnail, not the blue-haired one. So he actually continues on as he actually goes and basically tells Naruto to follow him as more Jin can sense where his artifacts are. That's how he found them the first time. He has an innate sense of where his artifacts are, which is how he found. I'm pretty sure he found Yaoi in the I don't remember where he found it. I think it was in the God of High School tournament. As he found the cloud with Lee, I believe. He found the dragon armor in the he found it with the false monkey king, and he found his crown. Well, he didn't find his crown. His crown more appeared after he gathered the other three, as it was limiting his power until he had unlocked it all. So, well, I'm pretty sure his crown, he can change it. So he changed, I'm pretty sure after he got it back, he changed it into his eye mask thing when he's not using his power. So, and he changed his dragon armor into the jacket around his waist. The cloud floats on its own, and Yellow's stuck behind his ears. So, yeah, Naruto, Naruto would follow Mori. I say end up in front of a large golden door. As Naruto's shadow clone having no strength at all whatsoever, Mori would have to tell Naruto to open this door. As Naruto would ask him why, and Mori would say that there's something special behind it. Naruto would say, okay, and he would use Mori's strength combined with his own from the training with Hashirama, which he'd be stronger than the both of them, because he has, well, the monstrous amount of chakra of an Uzumaki and the Senju, and is the son of Minato, so, strong ninja breeds strong kids. After all, you can see what Boruto can do if you watch Boruto. I don't, but I know what he can do. But well, continue on. They'd open the door. Basically, the moment they open the door, Naruto just feels something tap into the ground. As this would be the dragon armor. The dragon armor, from the moment they appeared in the realm of monkeys, on the land of monkeys, it had begun to react. As it was consistently trying to break its way through that door. And when Naruto opened it, it was about to try one last time to get out of the door because the dragon armor is sentient. It can't talk, but it has its own will. I'm pretty sure it does. Kind of like Doctor Strange's cape. As it can choose its own master at will. Kind of like the Cloud can. I'm pretty sure all of his artifacts can choose their own masters. Except for the crown. The crown doesn't choose its master. It just goes with whoever wears it. And Morgan was the only person compatible with it, so it just stuck with him. So anyway, yes, Yaoi does not have to be with Morgan. It only actually goes with someone that sees as worthy. Because, well, pretty sure what was it, Generation? I don't remember what it was called, Generation that, but there were twins that had this ability to bond with objects, and the twins bonded with Yaoi, well, with a cloned version of Yaoi. It was nowhere near as strong as the real one, but it had the same abilities. And, well, anyone could use it. So the only reason Yali uh chose more Jin is because it had the spirit of Hephaestus in it, I believe. And Hephaestus was a female. She was kind of like his girlfriend slash wife slash lover. I'm not really sure what they had going on, but yeah. But she was basically about to die, and she infused her godly essence into Yaoi, which gave Yaoi its own will. As none of his artifacts can actually talk to him, but they have their own wills, as they go with whoever they choose. So, well, he's tackled by the dragon armor, like I said, as the dragon armor basically puts itself on him, as it senses Morrigan, but it also senses something different, as it's basically trying to probe his mind and find out what this is. Naruto notices the crown floating on a pedestal, as the crown basically just sat there waiting to be noticed, because it would be noticed eventually, seeing as the dragon armor kind of introduced itself. So Naruto would walk over to the crown as he put it on, as instead of the crown tightening itself around the person's head, causing them pain and all of that to restrict their power, Morrigan himself will just control the flow of power throughout Naruto's body, as it'll kind of be like Deku and the users of One for All. As if Naruto uses too much power, it will strengthen his body, kind of like how it works with Deku. Except Naruto will be much less fragile than Deku is. As at this point, Naruto is able to use up to 5% of his power without suffering any damage. But if he goes beyond 5%, so just like 7%, he'll begin to tear muscles, and at 10%, he'll begin to break bones. And if he tries to push it beyond that, he will go into a paralysis paralysis state where he cannot control his body at all. So, and he'll be stuck like this for about 2 weeks because he's nine tails healer. Normally, that would kill him, but because of the nine tails and his Senju DNA, well, yeah. If it weren't for his Senju DNA, he'd be stuck like that for a month. So the Senju part really does help out. I'm pretty sure I said this in the first part, but Tsunade is his grandmother, and Hashirama is his great great grandfather. So, anyway, back to the story. While he stays there, Morjin actually realizes that he forgot to teach Naruto something, and that was his own monkey clone jutsu. Well, not jutsu, but monkey clones. As he decides to tell Naruto about the monkey clones, as Naruto realizes he can combine these with shadow clones, which can make an even larger army of, well, clones, as as the monkey clones do not disappear after one hit, they actually have a set amount of health. They kind of have a set amount of health, so they can take like 2 or 3 hits before they're destroyed. And depending on how much power Naruto puts into each clone. And I'm gonna give him the ability to communicate telepathically with all of his clones. That does include Morihei, which up until this point he has not been able to summon Morihei because he has not been doing the correct clone jutsu type test. But he does know all of Morihei's originals, but he has not learned Morihei's originals yet. as he has not talked to him yet. Though Mori Huey knows that Mori Jin died and reincarnated because they share the same soul and the same body, so he knows that he's died and reincarnated again, and he knows eventually he'll be summoned. As Mori Huey, actually, let's say if Mori Huey were to die, well, the only way for him to be able to come back is, well, for the current reincarnation of whatever Mori Jin's true name is, which I cannot tell you that to save my life, dies. He can be revived in the same body, but he has to die in order for Mori Huey to be able to be summoned again after Mori Huey is killed. Or at least eradicated to the point where you can't revive him. For those of you who don't know who Mori Huey is, Mori Huey is basically, he is a sentient clone of Mori Jin. He's kind of like, if you were to compare Mori Huey and Mori Jin, they'd be like twins, but they share the exact same features. But their personalities are completely different. They dress completely differently. They're basically like twin brothers, but they have their own differences. So Naruto, Naruto would learn the Monkey Clone Jutsu as he do it, and the first clone that pops out would be Mori Huey, because Mori Huey is a bit excited to meet his new reincarnation. As he tell Naruto about all of the events that happened to him. As Mori Jin didn't exactly know of everything that happened. As when he actually talked to Mori Huey, he was halfway dead. So, you know. So, anyway. Probably should have said this will have manga spoilers in the first part, but my bad. Well, not manga, but web comic spoilers, but you know. Anyway, because the parts I'm talking about is like season 4 type stuff, so you know. Getting here on season 1 the anime. Let me go ahead and continue the story before I forget what I'm doing. Mori Huey tells him everything. By the way, if you're just trying to tell the difference between Mori Huey and Mori Jin, Mori Huey will have a bandana on his left arm, and Mori Huey will have a bandana on his left arm, and Mori Jin will have the eye mask thing on his forehead. Mori Huey doesn't wear that. He wears the bandana. As Mira and Dawe had actually put that bandana on him to tell the difference between him and Mori Jin's other clones whenever he could be revived. Well, whenever he eventually revived. Well, if he revived one day. They only did that as a faint hope, but since it disappeared with his body, they have a feeling he'll be revived eventually. So that's why I added that here. So basically, he is trained. He learns the monkey fighting style, and well, he now has the fighting styles of one Hashirama Senju, two the renewal Taekwondo fighting style of Mori Jin. He actually has 4 fighting styles actually. Well, 5 technically, but he has the fighting styles of Hashirama Senju, Mori Jin's renewal Taekwondo fighting style, the monkey's fighting style. We have Mori Jin's godly fighting style, And then we have the fifth style, which would be a combination of all of them. So Morrigan's godly fighting style would mostly be made up of his original attacks combined with renewal taekwondo attacks. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I know he should. Those of y'all who read the manga, I know he has another artifact, which was the 12th owner. I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna leave him out of this because, well, he wouldn't fit in anywhere. He just kill everything, and I don't remember the 12th owner's abilities anyway. So, well, not 12th. I think it's the ninth. It's either the ninth, the 10th, and the 12th. I don't remember for sure. But anyway, continuing on. After this week has passed, which Naruto did spend about 5 days in there. He spent he spent the other 2 days relaxing. But anyway, continuing on, Naruto would they'd get ready for the mission. Naruto, who would have learned some sealing jutsu from Hashirama, because Hashirama should know sealing jutsu, seeing as he did marry an Uzumaki, and he kind of sealed all the tailed beasts away. So he should have some sealing jutsu. Some extremely powerful ones at that too. Naruto would know sword seals. And he'd know some, he could be considered a seal master to your average person, but to an Uzumaki, he's an amateur. But, Uzumaki are kind of not there anymore. So, he's technically a master sealer, as he's better than Jiraiya or Minato. He's better than they could ever hope to be. But, anyway. Naruto would actually meet them at the gate, being later than Kakashi was, which surprised Kakashi because, he was surprised that who wouldn't be surprised if someone's later than you and you're like 3 hours late? But, he didn't bother making up an excuse for being late. He just said, I didn't feel like waking up that early, so why not? As Kakashi said, we could have just left without you, and Naruto would have said, it wouldn't matter. I would just track you down anyway. As I know your sense distinctly, and I can smell that alcohol breath from anywhere. As he's saying this to Tazuna. As Kakashi kind of snickers a bit, and so does Tazuna. As they start to, walk on the mission. As we skip about 2 hours. As Sakura is beginning to complain that she's bored and her feet are hurting, Sasuke is being as emo as always, because the Uchiha Massacre does happen in this. Not really sure if I said that or not. I hope I did say that. But Sasuke, being as grumpy as always, would just not say anything. He still thinks he can beat Naruto because Naruto had never actually fought him full power. But he'd only, let's just say this. In the academy, Sasuke was way smarter than the rest of the academy kids, so he knew Naruto was holding back somewhat. So he called Naruto out on it one day, and Naruto basically said, "Yeah, I hold back." He said they were talking in private, and Naruto says, "Yeah, I hold that." Because if I didn't hold back, it just caused more problems for me. Sasuke would be confused by this. He'd say, "What do you mean?" As Naruto would say, "Don't worry about it. But if you want me to stop holding back against you, I will." Sasuke says, "Alright then." As he challenged Naruto to a fight then and there. As they'd fight, Naruto would hold back still, but he'd stop holding back enough to where he's on par with Sasuke. But in the end, he'd let Sasuke win because he wants Sasuke to keep his Uchiha pride. At least until he can crush it in the junior exams. So, well, at least that's what he wants. That's what Naruto wants to do. But that probably won't happen. But anyway, Sasuke continues on, being as arrogant and emo as always. And Sakura still complaining. As Naruto's monkey instincts would kick in the moment he saw the puddle, as he'd get on guard immediately, pulling out Yaoi and getting ready to call out the dragon armor. Well, he wouldn't really know, he wouldn't call it dragon armor, but he would prepare. Well, I forgot about the cloud. The cloud was in the land of monkeys, just floating in the sky around the dragon armor, as the artifacts won't. I'm gonna make it to where the artifacts don't stray too far from each other, and if their master's presence is nearby, they won't stray too far from there either. So the dragon armor did want to stay there, and so did the crown, and so did the cloud. The cloud stayed there because the other two were there, as they're kind of like a family, but not really, as they can't really talk or interact with each other more than through kind of bumping into each other. So anyway, as Yaoi's kind of like the little brother of the family, seeing as Yaoi would be the youngest. I'm not really sure why I'm considering this as like people, but Yaoi would be the newest of all the weapons or of all the artifacts, as the oldest would be the crown, then the cloud, then the dragon armor. As that cloud was a gift from Buddha. So, well, but Buddha set him up, which tricked the whole going against Buddha, getting revenge, and him dying again. That actually was the whole reason Yahweh was created in the first place. That's because Buddha or that current supreme god had betrayed him. It was Tagatha, I believe, but we're not talking about that. Anyway, continuing on. Naruto's monkey instinct would activate when he sees the puddle, as he'd get on guard right then and there. Kakashi, who hadn't noticed the puddle yet, would then notice it as he'd get on guard, and Sasuke would have noticed it as well as he would have gotten on guard. Sakura would be a bit confused as to why everyone was staring this intensely at a puddle, and Tazno would just be walking like normal. As then Kakashi would fake his own death, Naruto would immediately move in, knocking out the two demon brothers, pissing off Sasuke a bit. Because Sasuke knows that Naruto was still holding back. But he knows deep down Naruto was holding back in their fights in the academy, but his pride won't let him believe it. So, you know, he kinda, well, he basically will deny it until the day he dies, but he knows for sure that Naruto was holding back at least a few of the time. But he won't accept it, so. Out on the outside, he'll act like Naruto's weak, but on the inside, he knows he's strong. Anyway, kind of like tsundere type thing, but I'm not doing that. He's not the ship. I'm not doing gay ships. You can call me homosexual. I'm not homosexual, but I don't do gay ships. If you want a gay ship, go somewhere else. In fact, just look for texting stories. In fact, just go on Google. Go on Google and search that stuff up there. I'm not putting that in my videos. I'm sorry. No gay ships, no lesbian ships. And there more than likely won't be 18 plus scenes in my videos. So, none of that either. So, anyway. Oh, the Demon Brothers. I don't know why the hell I'm taking so long to get through this. Naruto. Well, let me check what time it is. Okay. Naruto would Naruto would basically rush Demon Brothers as he'd do Kick of the Blue Dragon on one of them, which would kill him, as he'd strike the other in the temple, knocking him out. The Kick of the Blue Dragon is one of the few of Mori-jin's originals that I can actually remember. As I can remember the Blue Dragon Kick and the Twin Dragon Kick and the Sister Kick. And the Changuk or whatever, however you say that. It's the three combo kick, I believe. It's where you kick once to the left, once to the right, once to the back. But the order you kick is different from the order it hits. So the order you kick is left, back, right, but it hits left, right, back with the the back of the head kick knocking them out. So anyway, as Naruto waiting to get the Naaman brother, he would actually be able to get information out of them due to using his plant style, which he would have completed all of Hashirama's training by now. As he would have been done training with the both of them, at, well, Mori Huey would actually be training him because if for you guys who didn't know, Mori Huey was actually much more proficient in his use of Yaoi than Mori Jin, because Mori Jin mainly focused on using Yaoi for power attacks, while Mori Huey focused on flexibility. So Mori Huey is actually much more proficient with Yaoi than Mori Jin was, as he realized that powering his way through everything won't work because he's not as strong as Mori Jin is. So he decided to improvise. I'm tired, but I need to record this video. Anyway, continuing on. Mori, well, Naruto take out the Demon Brothers. As he knocked them both out, he'd kill one of them by quite literally caving his chest in to the point where it bent out. Like, he basically folded him, literally. He folded him kind of like you would a piece of paper. As that's how hard he kicked him, as it literally shattered his spine. So, Zabuza would have seen this. As Zabuza and Haku would have been watching from a far distance because I want them to be. As Zabuza makes a mental note to be careful, Naruto. as Haku would do the same because they're ninja and they know how to well prepare themselves for the opponent. So he'd wake up the second demon brother, he'd interrogate him with the plant style, as he can do a variety of things. I'm not gonna call Naruto a sadist, but if torturing is required, he will torture you. Like if he has to torture you to get information, he will torture you. So anyway, anyway, they continue on after. Well, not they continue on. Kakashi would actually say they're going back to the village, but Naruto would say no, and so would Sasuke and Sakura. As Naruto would then say that seeing as he's about as strong as Kakashi, then he could help Kakashi handle any more tuning rank or higher shinobis that pop up. As Kakashi would say, yeah, but what about Sakura? As she is practically useless in the situation, and Sasuke probably can't handle anything over a tuning at the moment. So what will we do if we're outnumbered? At that point, Naruto would say, well, I could make clones. Kakashi's like, shadow clones won't help much in the situation. As Naruto would say, not shadow clones, just regular clones. Well, illusions won't help either. Not those clones, my clones. As Kakashi would be a bit confused, as Naruto would have to show him, well, he'd actually pull out more Huey, as he had an idea he planned on doing anyway. As more Huey would explain who he is, and kind of like that. Sasuke and Sakura would still be confused, but more Huey would ignore it because they spent like 20 minutes on explaining all of this. As Naruto would make a clone of the cloud to get to more Huey. As more Huey is basically going to be the recon. It's just Naruto can telepathically communicate with them, and he can do the same with Naruto. He's kind of like a watchtower, basically. Not watchtower, but he's kind of like well, a scouter. He's like a scout, basically. It's like a scout talking over columns, basically. Naruto says it's Kakashi, and Kakashi says, "Good job, good thinking, Naruto. Now you don't even have. Now the enemy plans on ambushing us. They'll have to get past him first. Speaking of, how strong is he? As more Huey would then say, he's about 1/3 of Naruto's power, of Naruto's full power. As at this point, Naruto would have been able to go up to 15% without killing himself, without basically killing himself. And he can reach 10 but straining his body. So basically, Naruto, well, Satoshi would then say, he would then ask Naruto how much power he actually used against him in the bell test. Naruto would say, well, Naruto in the bell test would have actually used 3%, as his current maximum at that time was 5, because that's the very minimum. Naruto would then say 3, as he then tell Kakashi that he can use up to 10% without actually doing any real damage to his body. As Kakashi would be a bit shocked by this, as then he'd say, "You're bluffing." As Naruto would then basically demonstrate by speeding all around the forest and back in 2 seconds. As he looked at Kashi, said, "You think I'm bluffing now?" As Kashi just wouldn't say anything at all. As in Mori he would have taken off and he would be circling Naruto. As in kinda he basically gives him an early warning that there's someone who looks to about to throw a sword directly in their direction and at 21 degrees east. As they look to the east, which would be right. Well, no, not right. It would actually be forward because Land of Waves is to the east of the Leaf Village, but as well, the sword would come flying at them. Naruto would kind of catch it, but he'd he'd be careful not to break the sword because he'd be excited for this fight. But being a little bit too overexcited would crack the sword. Zabuza would be pissed and say, "You damn brat, fix my sword. Well, you broke my sword, and now you're gonna die for it." As she, as well, Naruto would have put his sword down by this point, as Zabuza would have picked it up, as then he would have charged at Naruto. Naruto would basically pull a Whis and block everything Zabuza, block all of Zabuza's attacks with a finger. So, you know. Because I was just feeling demoralized at the moment. While Haku was just sitting there watching him get his ass beat. So, yeah. As soon as Naruto was about to attack back, Kakashi kind of tags him out and saying, "Naruto, get back. You remember what we promised?" As we skip back to where Kakashi says, "Okay, Naruto, we'll continue. But if we find any S-rank ninja on this mission, well, they're for me and me only." As Naruto would say, "Yes, sir, Kakashi Sensei." As Naruto would then say, "This y'all had class, that's for no good to me." But anyway, he's, uh, well, wait, what am I saying? Basically, Naruto is, Naruto catches the sword. Naruto actually goes back to Sasuke and Sakura, protecting Tazunu. Kakashi still makes the same dumbass mistake and gets trapped in a water prison. Naruto, before Zabuza could even have the chance to do anything, like make any water clones, all you'd see is steam all around you. As you see the two still forming bodies of liquid just turn into steam immediately. As then, Kakashi would look in a bit of shock. As in, he'd look, he'd see Naruto, and then Naruto would vanish. As he did see Naruto doing a back kick to Zabuza's chest, which would send him spiraling across the river, freeing Kakashi, and forcing Haku to get involved. It's Naruto realizing that this person uses chakra, throwing kunai, and those types of items he would begin to try and dodge them. As he'd get a bit more serious, as he'd go into a renewal taekwondo stance, so as to make himself more flexible. As in, Haku would begin throwing his senbon and making his demonic ice mirror jutsu. As in, well, Naruto would Naruto would be wait, what am I talking about? Naruto would actually have I'm too sleepy at the moment. I'm gonna have to split this one part into two parts because I'm too sleepy to finish it all. So anyway, Naruto will actually have to stay back. Well, Naruto would actually back kick Zabuza across the river, which would force Haku to get involved as Haku and Naruto would get the fight. So Naruto would have to get a bit serious, as in he began using his legs because Morihjin did not use his legs unless he was fighting that person seriously, or he considered the person strong enough for it. So having him use his legs is it's a blessing, I guess. It's a good luck charm, or at least a marker of your strength, as only two other people have been able to get Naruto to use his legs, and that being the third Hokage and Kakashi. As would, well, Naruto would, actually begin to push back Haku. Haku, seeing how close Zabuza was to death, would retreat, actually. Naruto would not give chase to them because, they're running away. What's the point of that? But anyway, after this battle is where I'm gonna have to leave this off because I need to go to fucking sleep. I am tired as hell. I'll finish off. I'll finish off OG Naruto in the next part. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give me ship suggestions, please. And well, sorry about the late upload. Like I said, I kind of messed up the 2 hour part on my own, and I was pretty mad about it. Well, I'll see you guys later. Peace.